when I came back, my wife was very angry with Ashley because she peed on her diaper and she pooped on her diaper, so that got my wife angry.
Jackson Township Police.
Hi, yes, I need some help.
Okay, where are you at?
4924 Portage Street.
4924 Portage?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
A couple put their 5-year-old down for a nap in the back of their busy restaurant. When they returned a little while later, she was nowhere to be found. Now, with no security camera footage, eyewitnesses, or leads of any kind, investigators must find out where the little girl might have gone or who she might have gone with.
Hey, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5. Jojo, stop it.
Okay, and you're at Ames?
Thanks, yeah.
When's the last time you seen her?
This afternoon, probably.
30-year-old Ming Chen and her husband, 35-year-old Liang Zhao, started their day early, just as they did every morning. The busy couple ran a Chinese restaurant, Ang's Asian Cuisine, in Jackson Township, Ohio. They operated the restaurant 6 days a week, on top of raising 2 little girls, ages 5 and 6. On the morning of January 9th, 2017, Liang took their 6-year-old Jojo to school around 8 a.m., while Ming stayed behind and got their 5-year-old Ashley Zhao ready for the day. When Liang returned home, his wife was visibly upset with little Ashley for going to the bathroom on herself. Though her habit of having accidents greatly upset both her parents, they couldn't afford to let the mishap interfere with the day. So, now running behind, the pair addressed the situation quickly before loading themselves and Ashley into the car. Before leaving, Liang sent a post out to his patrons on Facebook, apologizing and explaining that the restaurant would be opening later than usual, giving the false excuse that his wife was sick. When they get to the restaurant, the pair suddenly decide to pick Jojo back up from school and bring her with them for the day. One goes to retrieve their oldest daughter, while the other stays to set up and keep an eye on Ashley as she lay in the back where she usually slept in the mornings. Once Jojo was comfortable and everything was in place, they proceeded to open up for the day and go on about business as usual. Later that afternoon, 911 received this call from Ang's restaurant.
Jackson Township Police.
Hi, yes, I need some help.
Okay, where are you at?
4924 Portage Street.
4924 Portage?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5. Jojo, stop it.
Okay, and you're at Ames?
Thanks, yeah.
When's the last time you seen her?
This afternoon, probably.
Around what time?
3, maybe 4.
So you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
You saw her at 5?
What was she wearing?
Oh, okay. What?
What was she wearing?
She's wearing a purple winter coat. I don't know what those things are called, but they're not jeans. They're like
leggings?
Yeah.
What color were they?
Grayish.
Okay, and you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
About, yeah. I mean, she was there sleeping. I mean, you know.
Where was she sleeping at? In the restaurant?
Yeah. She was sleeping there, and I picked up my older daughter from school. We all saw her sleeping there. So, and you know, we went to work, and you know, we let her sleep. We got busy, and then after it got busy, you know, we started cleaning up, and then you know, we opened the door and she's not here.
Hold on 1 second, okay? Okay, sir, what's your name?
Liang Zhao.
Okay, do you have any videos or anything in there where you can see a video, see if she was laying there?
No. We don't have any security camera in there. It's just in the restaurant. We've been here for 6 years. We never had security cameras here.
Okay.
So we saw her, like all of us, like my wife, myself, and my older daughter. When we came back, when I picked up my older daughter from school, we saw her there sleeping.
Okay, and so was there any suspicious people that came in at all? Do you think she could have woke up and ran out somewhere?
I have no idea. I mean, she was sleeping in the back. It's kind of hard to say when she was...
None of your employees had seen her?
There's only two of us, just myself and my wife. There's nobody else in the restaurant. There's only three people in the restaurant.
When you guys left, who was there with you? Like, who was there with your daughter when you guys left to go get your other kids from school?
My wife. I go pick her up myself. My wife is here in the restaurant. But when we came back, she's here. Like, my wife is here. The restaurant's open. The restaurant's always open. I usually open up. I drop my daughter off. I drop my daughter off at school in the morning, and then we come here to open up.
But right now, though, like, when you left, you said you, your wife, and your daughter left to go pick up your daughter from school?
No, I didn't say that. I said my wife is here all the time.
Okay, and your wife hasn't seen her either since around 4 or 5 o'clock?
Okay. I think you. Okay, when I meant was myself. Okay, when I went to pick up my daughter, when we came back, myself and my daughter, not my wife. My wife was here the whole time. When we came back.
So your wife hasn't seen her since around the 4 or 5 o'clock either?
Yes. She says she's not sure before we got busy. Usually we get these around 4 or 5 o'clock. That's the best time we can,
That's right. What's your daughter's name?
Ashley.
Okay. All right, my officer's outside if you want to go and meet my officer at the door, okay?
Parents gave police their version of that morning. With no evidence of what could have happened to Ashley, nothing of hers left behind, no surveillance cameras to speak of, and no accounts of Ashley leaving the restaurant by herself or with anyone. Investigators had no choice but to start their search at Ground Zero, Ang's restaurant. The next day, an endangered child alert was issued throughout the state of Ohio. That afternoon, police returned to the business, ready to do a thorough sweep of the property. The area was taped off, and officers began filing in and out of the business, inspecting every nook and cranny that a small child could fit into. Suddenly, there was a pause in the search. Everyone turned their attention to the area of the restaurant where the walk-in freezer resided. Without warning, Liang and Mingming were asked to put their hands behind their backs, and handcuffs were placed on their wrist. A short while later, both parents are sitting in front of detectives with some serious questions to answer. Fortunately, it didn't take much to get the truth about the previous morning's events.
Okay, yesterday morning, we got up. We prepped JoJo for school. I took JoJo to school. I came back. I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but she's 5 years old and she's not potty trained, like, ever. And I'll explain that a little later. But so that got my wife angry and, said a few things like, you're just old, you're 5 years old, you still don't know how to go potty and poopy. And, my wife was in the room and she was outside in the living room. After she pooped and potty in a diaper, my wife knows that she has issues with potty training, so she was going, fine, but then she took off her diaper again. So that got my wife angry. And,
Liang appears to swallow here. This is likely a product of his body kicking into fight or flight mode, a symptom of which is dryness to the mucous membranes, mouth, and throat. This physiological reaction is a sign that detectives should pay close attention to what he's about to reveal next. He's very possibly aware that being honest is a death sentence, but it's also entirely possible that neither of them understand the true gravity of the circumstance. Neither he nor his wife were born in the United States. In fact, it was later found that Mingming had come to the United States illegally. This could suggest a possible unfamiliarity with U.S. law, including due process and the rights they have concerning what information they choose to share with police.
So, when you're 5 years old, you still don't know how to poop and potty. And my wife got angry and hit her head on the carpet, 2 times. And initially she was breathing. She was still breathing then. And
Did you see your wife do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was home at that time.
What time was it?
Usually after I drop off at 9-ish. I can't say approximately because I don't work at a time home. My wife is banging Ashley said on the carpet. It was 9:15. 9-ish, 9:15, I guess.
Liang has now incriminated his wife in the murder of their 5-year-old. He's been extremely cooperative and open with detectives, with no physical indicators that he's being dishonest or evasive. Mingming, on the other hand, isn't as forthcoming as her husband, and initially denies knowing what happened to her daughter. But eventually, investigators are able to coax out the truth, and she begins to tell a story much like her husband's.
What happened? How did she die?
Just kill her, and then she died.
Did you hit her?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you hit her?
How?
Yeah. What
Use
happened?
hand to do that?
Okay.
So, right then she wasn't breathing?
No, she was breathing. She was breathing, and I was like, okay, so she's still breathing. She's okay.
Was there any blood or anything?
No, there's no blood.
Was she walking?
No, she wasn't walking. She was breathing, but she was lying down, and I thought she was going to come out of it in a little bit, So she stopped, but I didn't realize she stopped. I thought she was breathing normally now, because she was gasping, like it was. I can't really remember or recall exactly what, but it was a lot heavier than normal. So it sounded like a snore almost.
The snoring Liang describes having heard here was indeed not a sign that his daughter was okay. In fact, it was much the opposite. What he appears to be describing are agonal respirations, which can appear like the victim is gasping for air and can sound like snoring, sighing, or moaning. It's none of these things, however. It's actually a bodily reflex that occurs when the brain isn't receiving oxygen. Agonal breathing is not real breathing, but instead a common sign that death is soon to follow.
So at that point she stopped. I thought, okay, so she's breathing normally now, so didn't really pay attention to it. And then a little later, I went to, hold her, and just didn't feel right. And I checked her heart, and stopped beating. So I started panicking, and I tried to do CPR on her, try to breathe in her mouth, and give her chest compressions. I don't exactly know how long I did that for. I know I did it for a pretty darn long time, maybe 15 minutes to a half an hour or something like that. And that's when we realized she's gone. Like I tried, and I told my wife so kind of, maybe if I just realized it sooner, that when she stopped breathing, that snore sound, her heart stopped bleeding. Her heart stopped breathing her heart stopped beating at that time. Maybe I could have done some pressure then, it would have saved her or something. But I don't know. I know that I didn't start directly right after because I thought she was breathing normally then.
When she was on the floor, you thought she was breathing?
Yeah, but she wasn't doing that snoring sound anymore. I thought she was breathing normally. I thought she was going to come out of it in like a little bit.
How long did she lay on the floor after
her head hitting the carpet?
Yeah.
2-3 minutes. Making that sound. No, it was much longer than that. We actually took her to the bathroom because she was vomiting. We took her to the bathroom and vomited, and she vomited. So we vomited in the toilet.
Nausea and vomiting are common symptoms of cerebral edema or brain swelling. Ashley's head was hit on the ground so hard that it likely led to cranial injury and inflammation, causing death within minutes. That, however, isn't the most disturbing part. What would forever haunt detectives and the Jackson Township community is what happened after Ashley was killed.
I told my husband to take care of it.
Okay. So you're telling me that you told your husband?
I told my husband to take care of it.
It should be noted at this point that Mingming shows remarkably little emotion through the interrogation, even referring to her deceased daughter as it instead of her. Language such as this is typically a demonstration of distancing behaviors, or when the suspect attempts to put a subconscious barrier between themselves and their victim or crime. However, Mingming's demeanor communicates indifference rather than an attempt at distance. Though it's a sad thought, it's highly possible that Mingming was fed up with Ashley's mistakes, and at some level, she's relieved to be free of the constant stress. Or perhaps she even feels that her young daughter deserved what she got.
JoJo's at school.
You or your wife tell each other to call 911?
I told her to go pick up JoJo, and I was going to stay here and call 911.
Why would you pick JoJo up?
Huh?
Why would you pick JoJo up?
I was going to tell her to go pick JoJo up, and I was going to call 911.
Why? School wasn't over. Right? It wasn't early, right?
No.
Well, this is 9:15 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she not go full?
No, she goes full day. I was going to tell my wife to go pick her up, so I was going to call 911 and tell her that it was an accident, so my wife wouldn't be there.
So what happened?
We talked about it, and
Talk about what?
she said that, we're both afraid. We're both afraid what was going to happen if we called.
Okay.
I wanted to set her away so that, I'll be there. If someone gets in trouble, it'll be me, and she'll be okay. And I kind of wish it didn't happen this way. Now both of us are in really big trouble.
It's strange that Liang was, and still is, so loyal to his wife after she committed an act as traumatizing as beating their own daughter to death in front of him. This could point to strong codependency issues within their relationship, where Mingming is actually the dominant personality and the brains, and Liang is essentially the bronze. What Mingming had to say next further supports this theory.
I only take care of everything from the restaurant. I only have two hands. I'm not four hands girl. I'm two hands. I don't want to do that to Ashley, but you can control yourself sometimes.
See, Mingming advises police that she takes care of everything from the restaurant, which is assumed to mean that she controls most of the operations and aspects of the business. This would be expected from the brains of the duo, as opposed to Liang, who most likely dictates the more physical aspects of the work. The root of their dependency on each other might have been financial stability, or it might have simply been the combination of their two personalities that created a pair capable of something so egregious. Mingming later advises police that Ashley had recently stayed a considerable amount of time in China with her grandparents. So in reality, Ashley had essentially been raised by her grandparents until she was 4 years old, so the couple could focus on running their restaurant. Sadly, Ashley wasn't in her parents' care for even a year before she met her demise. According to her, this all happened as a result of her daughter's behavior after returning to their home. See, Ashley apparently began acting out and having frequent accidents, despite being 5 years of age and expected to be potty trained. This was perhaps the greatest source of frustration for Mingming, who was, to put it plainly, overwhelmed. Alright, let's return to Liang's explanation of what happened after he realized his daughter was dead.
After a while, we decided, both of us, I don't know exactly who came up with what, but, we should bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her. So JoJo, when you guys ask her, I was thinking maybe that wasn't a good idea, but I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. So, bring her to the restaurant so JoJo can see her so that when we call, JoJo can say, oh, she was here at the restaurant and she left the back door at the restaurant instead of, at the house. She accidentally got killed. So,
Where were you gonna put her at the restaurant so JoJo could see her?
And, at the room that she was normally in, she sleeps in there. So, JoJo will see that she's sleeping there and can verify it, and, she's sick, so, and even if you ask her to take a polygraph, I don't know if you ask a 6-year-old to take a polygraph, but a 6-year-old wouldn't lie like that, and so we didn't want JoJo to lie, so we want JoJo to see Ashley there.
Okay. So you take Ashley to the restaurant. How do you get Ashley from the apartment to the restaurant?
Put her in a car seat.
Did you carry her out to the car?
Yeah.
Did she have her jacket on?
Yes.
Okay. What color is your car?
It's a rental car. It's like black or dark gray.
Okay. So you drove that to the store. Was there a gentleman looking on the roof?
Yes.
Okay. Your daughter, did you carry her in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They saw me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 guys on the roof, working on the roof or something like that. And we brought her inside and we just laid her there. And we just continued our work. The plan was for Georgia to come home and see her there to verify that she's there. And then I would hide her up on top of the walk-in freezer. And then when we called the police at night, Jojo could verify that she was there.
Liang has just disclosed that after Ashley was dead, he carried her body to their car, strapped her into her car seat as if she were still alive, and drove her to the restaurant before going to pick up their oldest daughter from school and continuing a normal day of work. On top of that, from the time Ashley was first slammed into the ground to the point in which she threw up, the couple blatantly refused to call for help that could have potentially saved her life. This shows a profound and concerning level of callousness and self-motivation that isn't just unusual of a parent, but of any reasonable person capable of compassion.
You know what happened? And then I moved her, to the walk-in freezer, put her in that plastic container so that she wouldn't stink.
What kind of container was it?
That was plastic, those busting containers for like restaurants, and that's when we were gonna call the police, and we were hoping that the police would come here, look, and I said, we didn't expect this. We didn't know the procedure exactly what's going on. We didn't know that I was gonna come down here, take a polygraph. I was gonna be asked so much questions. There was gonna be so many people involved. If we knew that there was gonna be like 100 people searching for, maybe even more. I don't even know. I am so sorry.
What were your plans to do after maybe we quit looking for her or whatever? What were you gonna do?
We don't really know. There was 3 things. If I burn it, bury it, or throw it in the ocean. There's so many reasons why I told Randy what I told Randy. But one of the reasons is Randy mentioned it, and I know, without him telling me, I know is if let's say that I went through with this and I didn't get caught, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder for I don't know how long. It's because there's a dead body there, that I have to eventually get rid of. And if you put it in the ocean, the tides can wash it back. If you bury it, wild animals can get at it, someone can find it. If you burn it, there's a chance that someone's going to see you because it's going to be a big flame. You're not going to do it during the day, and you're going to be doing it during the night. So when you're burning a big flame at night, someone's going to see you. We thought about all of this, and honestly, we weren't really too sure on what to do after that.
Though Liang seemed slightly remorseful and aware of the gravity of what happened, ultimately, the only reason he chose to be honest was to clear his own conscience, and not particularly to get justice for his daughter. He shows signs of the same disconnect and lack of empathy that Mingming demonstrates during her interview, though not as forwardly.
Did you and your wife both agree on putting her there in that container?
We talked about places, and I said this is probably the best place to do it. It's well ventilated. I'm going to put salt in it. You're not going to be worried about temperature because it's cooler up there.
And it's up above where the panels are, right?
Yes.
Did you take the panel off?
That was already off. We keep stuff up there. There's like our wedding pictures, everything.
Okay.
Yeah. We keep a lot of stuff up there. It's like extra storage.
So it's extra storage. So then, how did you get up her ladder?
Yeah.
The ladder. You carried her up.
Yes.
And put her body up there.
Yes.
Okay. Then what'd you guys do, close the business for the night?
No, we called.
You called
the police.
Jackson.
Yes.
But you did this, what time did you say you put her in there? You thought?
6 something to 7, like 6:30 to 7.
When investigators searched the restaurant, they discovered Ashley's deceased body inside the large freezer, in an area above the ceiling. The 5-year-old was stuffed inside a food container filled with salt. Liang then discloses more about Ming and Ashley's regular interactions, information which paints his wife as a ticking time bomb that was always bound to explode.
When did the abuse start with your wife and Ashley?
About a little bit after a month after she arrived. In the beginning, it was not that bad. It was like discipline, trying to correct her, like you got a potty in the toilet, stuff like that, minor stuff. And the thing with Ashley was that she still doesn't know to potty in the bathroom. So that really gets my wife going because we have her for a year now and she still can't. She's still not potty trained.
So that was one of the things that really irritated your wife?
Yes, I mean, and then she was like everything that irritated my wife let go one after another. Okay, so she can potty on that, fine, let her go. In a couple of months, she's gonna be with my mom. I'll buy diapers, take care of it, and hopefully she'll get away from me. She'll get fresh off my mom. Speak against my wife. My mom would take care of her, not my mom, my wife's mom. My wife's mom would take care of her and they'll have a fresh start, both of them. And my wife will have a fresh start. I was like, okay, just let that go. But then, after she poops and potty on her diaper, she takes her diaper off. And that's what triggered that yesterday.
Though this might be the case, there's no evidence that suggests that there was any history of abuse prior to Ashley's death. It's not uncommon for suspects to attempt to lean as heavily on their co-defendant as possible, even going as far as to lie or exaggerate their partner's role in the events to make their role seem relatively insignificant. This rarely ever helps their case, however, since, regardless of the circumstance, the suspect is admitting to having taken part in a crime. Following their confessions, both Liang and Ming were charged with Ashley's murder and held in custody. Both pleaded guilty in exchange for leniency. In a surprising twist, Liang agreed to testify against his wife and tactically maintained his innocence in their daughter's murder. In response, Ming's attorney contended that, if there had been a trial, they could have proven that Liang was actually abusive to both the girl and her mother, which contributed to Ming's drastic decision-making. Less than a year later, in December of 2017, Ming Chen was convicted of child endangerment, evidence tampering, obstructing justice, corpse abuse, and the involuntary manslaughter of her daughter, Ashley Zhao. She was sentenced to 22 years in prison. She'll then very likely be deported once her time has been served. Liang Zhao was convicted of corpse abuse and obstructing justice. As a condition of his plea deal, murder was dropped from the list of charges. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison.